Now, I want to, what I want to share with you is from this book. This book, Become an Effective Reader Today. Become an effective reader today. So I want to share something with you from this book. They say that people don't read. I don't want to argue with that statement. However, I want to encourage people to read. I always encourage people to read because of the fact that I'm a writer. I mean, I can't write 20 books and, ignore the fact that people don't read and not, find a way to help them to read. So I wrote this book, Become an Effective Reader Today. I wrote it because I realized that many people don't actually know how to read a book. Many people just pick a book and they just read. And I've realized that it doesn't help. It rather discourages people from reading than getting on to read for a reason, for a purpose. And I wrote this book not long ago because I wanted to teach people how to read. I wanted to teach people how to read. And I believe during this lockdown, you are reading. You are reading. And I just want to come and help you to, to effectively read, to become an effective reader. So I want to share with you a few things that I believe will help you to know how to go about reading. But before we go to certain things that I want to show you, there is something here that I noted about why read. I've noted about 33 benefits of reading, and I'll just share with you a few of them so that you are encouraged to read at least one book a day, or one book a week, or a month, or however you've made your targets. Reading is important. Why is reading important? Reading will challenge you to become a great leader of all times. Through effective reading, one can become part of the global leadership. There are so many people who are writing books from different areas, from different places in the world. And we have access to these books on Amazon, on YouTube, on whatever platform that they put forth those books, and you have your physical copies that you can be able to read. So when you look at it, if you read most of the books that you are reading even right now, or most of the books that you have access to, you can become a great leader of all times. Actually, you can become a global leader just through books. Trust me, you can, because there are so many things that are, they say are hidden in a book. And many people who don't read, they are actually missing a lot. I'm a reader myself, and I came this far because I read books. I read quite a lot of books, different books for that matter. So reading can qualify you to become part of a global leadership. Number two, I just want to go through them to help you. Number two, reading enhances you in your studies and profession or calling. If you want to know certain things in your profession, in your calling, or in whatever your career, your studies, you have to become a reader. You cannot achieve certain things in your profession, certain things in your calling, in your purpose, or in your career, in your studies, without reading. So you must read in order to be enhanced in those areas. Number three, Reading will make you a suitable candidate for success. Suitable candidate for success. I just said something when I was talking about Become Successful Today, and I said that I teach people to be valuable. I teach people to be aware of their worth, so to attract success. So one of the ways to make yourself valuable, to make yourself worthy for success, is to be a reader. So you will become a suitable candidate for success. Effective readers stand a better chance of succeeding in their lives. Show me readers, people who read. I'll show you successful people. Reading contributes to your success. So if you are not reading today, I don't know the kind of success that you are looking for. But if you are looking for real success, you have to become a reader. Number 4, reading will make you advantageous over others. That's the truth. Reading will make you advantageous over others. You become a leader because readers are leaders. Automatically, they are leaders. You get to know what others don't know and do what they don't do. You stand a better chance of becoming their leader. You know, some people are our leaders, and the difference between us and them is that they are readers and we are not. So read. If you are going to lead in any area, wherever you are placed by the Creator, you will have to be a reader, an effective one for that matter. Number 5, reading will cause you to maximize your potential. Reading helps us. It causes us to maximize our potential. Some of us, we don't know what we can do simply because we have not read certain books that will make us, aware of what we can do. Because you can read a book today and go on and exercise what you read about, and then you find out that you've been a potential when it comes to when it comes to that area. Thank you so much. I see Prophet Munya has just joined us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Number 6, I'm just going to share with you, maybe, let me share 10. Let me just share 10. I have 33 of them. I'll just share 10 because I don't want to take much of your time. I will just share some of the things that are inside this book. Number 6. Now, this is a powerful one. Reading will set you free from ignorance. Reading will set you free from ignorance. Guys, I believe that the sound is okay. Please, somebody confirm for me if the sound is okay, if you can hear me. I don't want to go all out and there is no sound. Reading will set you free from ignorance. Reading is the best ignorance killer. Reading is the best ignorance killer. I don't have to say much about that. I hope you understand. Number 7, reading will make you a problem solver. Most people who are problem solvers on this earth are readers. They get ideas from other people. They appreciate other people of what they are according to the Creator. Number 8, reading will help you to know who you are. Reading will help you to know who you are. It will launch you into the journey of self-discovery for recovery. There is no recovery without discovery. You have to get to know yourself. And one of the ways to know yourself is through reading. There are books, when you read them, you get to find out who you are. They are just like that. You just read them, and after you read them, you all of a sudden know who you are. It will point you to yourself. Reading will point you to yourself. I remember back in the years, there are books that I read. Some of them, they even, reveal to me that I am a writer. I read a book, and the next day I saw myself sitting down and writing. So there is so much about reading that some of us, we might have missed it. You may never know who you are until you start reading. That's the truth. You may never know who you are until you start reading. So it's very important for you to read something. I'll share with you some of the tips that I have on reading from the same book. Number 9, reading will allow you to meditate. Reading will allow you to meditate. We gain focus, relaxation, and have more time with ourselves during a time of reading. In other words, reading is a mirror for inner self. You can be reading and it feels like your inner man is looking themselves in a mirror. So reading allows us a time to meditate. Reading allows us a time to meditate, to focus, and to relax even our minds, and to have time with ourselves. I don't know about you, but it looks like every time I get a book to read, I have time with myself. I get to fellowship with myself. I get to have that me time when I am reading. Number 10, which is the last one that I'll share with you, reading builds your character in preparation for proper use of your gifts and talents. Let me say that again. Reading will help build your character in preparation for proper use of your gifts and talent. So reading is very important because it helps in character building. It helps in character building. We have gifts, we have talents, but if you don't have a good character, you may never get to, exercise your gifts and your talents. The reason why I wrote these books, I believe, is because of, good character that was built even through reading. Quickly, let me share with you some of the things in this book that I noted that can help you to become an effective reader. You can become an effective reader. I'll quickly share them with you. Number 1 thing that you have to do to become an effective reader is to buy or collect good books. Buy or collect good books. What am I saying? If you actually want to make your reading effective, don't just collect any book that you find. Don't go to the bookshop and then you take all the books that you find in the bookshop. No. Look for books, good books. I'm talking about books that have something to do with your purpose, something to do with your career, something to do with your studies. I mean, you don't go to the bookshop and get a book on, for example, get a book on medication or a medical book when you are actually studying as a pilot, for example. I mean, yes, you can have, skill in first aid or something, but you would want to get books that have something to do with your main thing, your main career or your purpose. So when I talk about good books, I'm talking about books that have something to do with what you are called for. So that is a way of getting yourself ready to become an effective reader. And then the other thing is use table of contents. Use table of contents. Sometimes when you see a book as big as this, switch on. You just say, I'm not a reader. I can't read a book as big as that. Look, if you get a book as big as this and you go to table of contents, I tell you, you will find what you want in that book and just read it. Look, Nobody will take you to prison for reading just a passage in a book because that's what you need. Because as a writer, because I'm a writer, thank you, Pastor Zakes, for joining us. Thank you so much. As a writer, this is what I know. When we write books, we don't write books because you are point blank. No. There is something that you know. We try by all means to attend to the things that, it may be the things that we know and you don't know. And a big book like this, you may find that if you go to table of contents, you will just find, one thing in it that you need. Maybe the power of mentorship. You just go and read about the power of mentorship because maybe you are failing to appreciate mentors, or you don't really see the need for mentors in your life. And then you read about the power of mentorship, and there you go. After you get to know about the power of mentorship, you now see the reason why you should get mentors, and then you get them. That's what you read from this book, and that was it. Nobody will shout at you and look at you as somebody who is not a reader because you read just one chapter or you read just one topic. In fact, an effective reader is someone who reads what they need in a book and put it away. Instead of wanting to read the whole book, and at the end of this book, you don't remember nothing. You don't even get to exercise what you read about because it was too much for you. But if you took just one chapter or one topic, you would exercise, what you read about, and that's it. You get to develop your life or transform your life. So go to the table of contents and check the topics there, because a normal book will have table of contents. Table of contents is where you see the content of the book, is where you see what's inside the book. Except for some books, they can be writing good topics in table of contents. When you get to the real content, you find, hey, it's something else. It happens. You find a book on table of contents, it's written like this one, like the power of mentorship. When you go to that particular topic, you find, hey, it's just going there. The power of mentorship is going there, and the content is going there. So you just need to be careful. Sometimes you need to follow, your authors, and once you follow them, you get to know what they write. But use table of contents if you are going to be effective in your reading, because you might find out later that you just need one paragraph in a book, and that's it. Your life gets changed. I've read paragraphs in a book and my life was changed, because I'm one person who goes straight to table of contents, and I look for, because some of the things, like I said, that we write about, you will find that you already know them. You've read them in another book. You don't have to go back and read it again, unless you want to check if there is something more that you might have missed in some books. But on a general note, you just check table of contents, and then you look for what you are looking for and read. You might find that if you open a book like this, you may find on table of contents that you've gone through everything. It's possible you've gone through everything in other books, but sometimes you would read it because it interests you. You look at the cover, you can see that, man, this might be a powerful book, and you get it and you read it. But what I'm basically saying is that use table of contents for effective reading. Number 3, read multiple books. Read multiple books. How do you read multiple books? You can get related topics. You can get related topics. Let me say, you can get a book on planning. You can get a book on money. A book on money, a book on budgeting. You can get more than 3 books. And how do you read them at the same time? You read just paragraphs. You don't have to read a lot. You can read on this one. You read about competent or capable leaders. You read maybe a paragraph. You get to switch on, and then that's if you are even taking advantage of the table of contents. You can actually go through books like that. You will find that at the end of the day, when you merge the content or the knowledge that you took from about 3 books, when you put it together, it paints a beautiful picture. It paints a very powerful picture before you. And you can end up reading a lot of books because you are reading multiple books. You are not just reading one book. I know for some people, they will say, I want to concentrate. If I read other books, I will get distracted and all that. It's a skill that you have to develop. I've developed it. I can read about 8 books at a go. I can put 8 books by my bedside, and I read sometimes I just read a sentence and then I put it away. It makes a difference for me because as a writer, most of the time I get a sentence and then I end up with a book like this. This is about 300 and something pages. But when I received the revelation about this book, the idea about this book, it was just switch on. Switch on, 2 words. 2 words, switch on. So if switch on can make sense and then I come up with something like this, what about when I read? I can read 2 words and start thinking about them, and I get my life transformed. So I can read more than 1 book. I can read 10 books at a go, just going through them like this, because there's really not much time nowadays to sit down and get glued to a big book like this, when you just need 1 topic from this book and you are done with it. You can read 1 topic in this book, in another one by your favorite authors. You can read about 8 authors in a night. It's possible. Get me right, it's possible. And mind you, your mind is powerful. Your mind is powerful. It's just that for some of us, we haven't actually exercised it. I've taken too much time now. I just wanted to go through this so that you get it quickly. Number 4, become a bookworm. Become a bookworm. Wherever you go, carry a book. That's how you are going to be effective. Carry a book wherever you go. We are still locked down, but you can still become a bookworm in your own house. When you go to the bathroom, you can carry a book. When you get there, you're doing your thing, you are also reading. Some of you, when you are cooking, you have your book. If you have them on your laptop, on your iPad, or on your reading tablet, for some of you who don't like having the hard copies, you can move around the house, reading a book. But otherwise, I encourage people, when you go to the bank, carry a book. Bookwormers or bookworms, if you may call it that way. Bookworms, they never get bored. When people are busy complaining about long lines, they are busy with their books. They wait for their turn, and during that time, they are getting something from a book. They go to the hospital, they go to the doctor. In a line, they have books. So become a bookworm. Carry a book. Have books by your bedside. Guys, don't go to sleep without reading. You don't have to read the whole book. Just a paragraph, just a sentence. That's how you become an effective reader. For some of us, we started off Resarati the book. We would look at, check out some books, and we just look at them from far, and we say, I'm not a reader. Until one day, I learned how to read. I learned that you don't really have to read the whole book in one night. Unless it's a novel that is so interesting, for a novel is like a movie. You can read it throughout, but still, you don't have to strain your eyes, sit in one position and read. So become a bookworm. That's how you are going to be effective. The other one, number 5, is having reading friends. Have reading friends. You can actually read a book through a friend. I think I've read some books through friends. If you have friends who read, they will share books with you. And sometimes you wouldn't even have to go and read that book because you have a reading friend, somebody who can share with you what they have read about. So it's advantageous to have reading friends. Choose your friends. I don't like friends who don't read. Honestly, I don't like friends who don't read because there's not much they can share with me. Yes, they can share with me their experiences. They can share with me what they know. But somebody who can share with you what they've read from another person or from another book, I wouldn't trust them that much. I trust a friend who reads because some of the things that they say are confirmed. They tell you things that are confirmed because authors can confirm a lot of things to you. So if you are going to be effective in your reading, have reading friends. Have reading friends. Connect with reading friends. Even online, connect with reading friends. Meet them and ask them, what book are you reading? They will tell you, I'm reading Switch On. What is it all about? It's about 1, 2, 3 hours reading this part where it talks about success requires a sacrifice. Success is a process. They start telling you. And then, maybe for the first time you get to know something on success through a friend, because certain books there are people here who don't have Switch On. And I don't know why you don't have it by now. But you will have it. I know you will have it. But you can read it through a friend who has it. Probably some of you've heard from a friend telling you about Switch On, but you need to get it for yourself, okay? And then number 6, if you are going to be an effective reader, note down new things. When you are reading, it's very easy to pick a new thing. If it's a new thing, note it down. Note it down so that you can, revisit it later and, get more out of it. When you hear something, you unlock, knowledge unlocks knowledge. There are new things that will unlock new things within you. So note them down, whether you are reading a magazine, whether you are reading a novel, whether you are reading a success book or a motivational book or whatever that you are reading, whether you are listening to it or whatever, note down. It's very important. That is effective reading. You don't just read and you go over new things and you just put it aside. No. Read, note down new things after you have read. Meditate on that. Check the facts. Check the how true they are, even online or with other books. Number 7, criticize not. Criticize not. There is a man, someone who said, a book is a version of the world. If you do not like it, ignore it or offer your own version in return. You can't receive from a book that you are busy criticizing. It's either you take a book, you criticize it, or you take it and you learn from it. I think it's easy that way. So try not to criticize when you are reading a book. Try to learn first. If you have to criticize later. That is one of the ways to become an effective reader. Another one is don't rush through books. Don't rush through books. There are books that you have to, go through them slowly. Go through them slowly. Don't just rush through, browse through, and that's it. There are books that you have to keep on going back to, so you don't have to rush through them. And then the other one, if you are going to be effective in your reading, join book clubs. Book clubs is whereby you gather together and you take turns in reading maybe one book or more than one book. One thing about book clubs is that they motivate you to become a reader, a regular reader. So join book clubs if you know one. And then the other one, make time for reading. There is nothing like I don't have time to read. There is actually no spare time. If you want time, you must make it. So make time for reading so that your reading can be effective. You never listen to book, you have read everything. Now there's nothing left. So, but you have to get yourself this book. Very powerful. So I wanted to share with you this so that in your reading you can be effective. And I hope you are reading a book. If you don't mind, you can just share with me the book that you are currently reading, so that even myself, I can, get those books, because if you can read them, I know that they are powerful and they are helping you. Share what you are reading so that I can also pick those books and read as well. Guys, thank you so much for being with me here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I wish we were not on lockdown. I could give some of you some of the books that I have. But it's very unfortunate that we are going through this lockdown. But we'll meet after the lockdown. Some of you, I'll give you some of my copies that I have shown you here. But guys, I've had a wonderful time as a writer. I've had a wonderful time as a reader. Read. Take this time and read. You may never find a time like this in your lifetime. Take a book and read. You will learn quite a lot from books. We are busy reading here. We are readers. We, go through the day reading, and so that you don't think too much, you don't get bored. Thank you so much for listening to me. I really, really appreciate it, and I know that you've learned one or two things. If you joined us late, you can go through the video again and learn